welcome back. Today we have convention season coming up pretty soon. I decided that today we are going to talk about the do's and don'ts and a few tips here and there about dealing with conventions. It's going to be a lot of fun. Some of these things for the veteran conventioner you're already going to pretty much know, and if you don't know, well, that's kind of sad. Some of it's like duh, and some of it's not. Who knows? Some of it you might actually learn something, and that's what our point is. That's what our point is. So we're gonna go ahead and kick it off because I want to get this done really quickly, and we're gonna go ahead and start off with the do's. First off, oh my god, this is like priority number one. If there's anything you get from this, I want you to get this right here. Take a shower. No, you misunderstood me. Take a shower every day. I'm gonna say this one more time. You need to take a shower every single day that you are there. And don't just like wet yourself. Use soap, detergent, use a Brillo pad if you have to. Get clean. You have to stand next to a bunch of people, and if you're in cosplay, you're going to be sweating. You don't smell like flowers. I can promise you that right now. Take a bloody shower, use soap, put on deodorant, and brush your teeth. Some of these people wear the same outfit like every single day, and well, I guess it's disturbing. Get a different outfit. Don't wear the same thing every single day. But if you're gonna, please, 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 please take a shower. You're gonna be standing next to people. People are gonna be taking your picture, hopefully, and if they're not, you're gonna want to take pictures with people, and they gotta smell you. And well, you might never see them again, or you might. I don't know. I see some of my old cosplay buddies and convention friends at other conventions, and they recognize me and I recognize them. But point is, please take a shower. For the love of everything dark, take a shower. Okay, go to day 0 if you can. If anything, just to pick up your tickets. This will save you tons of time on day 1 when you get to avoid the ticket line, because trust me, you don't want to be in that line day 1, especially if you've had a few drinks before you got there, and well, there is like never a bathroom ever. So day 0, it's a good day. Make sure you pack a few snacks, because when you're in there, food is usually pretty expensive. It's how they make their money, and it's reasonable. Well, it's not reasonably priced, but it's it's their living. Pack a few snacks. You don't have to pack a lot, but you want to eat something because you're going to be there a good part of the day probably. And if you're like me and some of my other friends, you're a bit thrifty, bring a couple snacks. Make sure you bring water. You don't want to dehydrate when you're in this, going through a convention. You're going to be doing running around probably. And even if you're not doing running around, you're going to want to drink water. That's just like, come on, basic facts here. Drink water. Bring in a water bottle. Usually it's not a problem. Make sure it's water. You don't want to bring in Mountain Dew. You don't want to bring in booze. We'll get into that in a little while, but let's take this one step at a time. Bring water. You're going to want to pack yourself an emergency cosplay kit. Now, emergency cosplay kits, they don't have to be very big. I actually would recommend 2. One that you keep in your car or whatever vehicle that you have, and that has like all the big stuff. And you might want to even bring an extra outfit just in case your cosplay completely falls apart and you need something to wear later on. So you're not walking around in not a cosplay. But you also want to take something in with you. Now, a couple of conventions will actually have a cosplay first aid station, if you will, that you can go to help fix your cosplay, but you don't want to assume that they do. So you want to bring an emergency cosplay kit. There's a few things that you definitely want to have in your emergency cosplay kit. You want to have some crazy glue, makeup to touch up depending on what you're wearing, duct tape or electrical tape, also depending on what your outfit is, a pair of good scissors, some safety pins or an emergency sewing kit, and various other little things depending on what your cosplay is. Now, speaking of being a cosplay, if you're going to be in cosplay, do memorize your lines. And by that, I mean, if you got a character that has a specific catchphrase or have certain mannerisms, it's part of the fun. I mean, go and learn this stuff and do it. It's going to be great. It's going to be just going to add to the magic. People are going to come up to you and they're going to call you by that, character's name. You won't have your old identity. You will be that character no matter how bad or how good your cosplay is. You are now that character. So you might as well play it out right. They're going to be like, oh, where's this person who just happens to be your sidekick? And you're like, oh, well, he's, I don't know, in Field of Dreams for some, I don't know, god-awful reason. I've had some people come up to me in my favorite cosplay is Zabu Zamamochi, and I never ever have a Haku, but everybody always asks me, "Hey Zabuza, where's Haku?" And I'm like, "Well, dead," because that's all the answer I got for them. One time I had a Haku. I really should start bringing a Haku. I mean, that's not neither here nor there. Point is, know your lines, know your character. It makes it more fun when people come up to you to take a picture, and you are that character now. That's like part of the awesomeness. Bring some business cards. People are going to want to get in contact with you. You might hit it off with somebody as a good friend and they want to call you later on. Or, I mean, don't just give your phone number to anybody. Or maybe just your name with your email or your Facebook. So that way, if you make friends, you don't have to frantically write things down. Back to cosplays, actually. If you're going to do a cosplay, people are going to be taking your pictures 90% of the time. So have 2 to 3 poses like planned out ahead of time. That way you don't look retarded when they come up to you and try to take a picture and you got like nothing. You just stand there like a freaking dead animal. You want to be the only person who's just standing there when everybody in most of the group is doing that awesome pose and you just look stupid. So work on some poses. Your character has a certain pose that he does all the time or stands a certain way all the time. That goes back to mannerisms. Go ahead and do that. Make sure you bring a backpack or something to carry things in. Now you can we usually bring at least one backpack, and in the backpack we have the cosplay repair kit, and we also make sure you have plenty of extra room for snacks and your water, but also in case you buy something, you don't want to carry it around in your hands all day, especially if you got an awesome cosplay that's got a weapon or something like that. You don't want to kill the effect by carrying something, so bring a backpack or a duffel bag or something, just something to carry stuff in, and make sure there's a little extra room in case you buy something. Bring spending money. My rule of thumb is however many days I want to be there, I'm going to plan on having at least $100 a day. Now this is for food if I want to eat there, or for drinks, but it's also in case I want to buy something. Or a lot of celebrities that go to conventions, they'll charge, sadly, for autographs. And some of them I really, really want. And so I make sure to have a little extra spending money. Now, if I don't spend the $100, that's fine. That'll just roll over. Next day I might have $190 to spend. And then I only spend $10 again. And if I don't, then I come home with extra money. But plan accordingly. You don't want to be there. It's better to have it and not need it than need to not have it. That's just a basic fact of life. Be prepared. Bring a little extra spending money. It's a good thing. This one's important. Check your cell phone. Especially if you have a big fancy cosplay and you don't actually have your cell phone on you. It's loud in conventions. It's loud and you almost never hear your cell phone. So make sure you you check your cell phone just periodically. 10-15 minutes, I would say. Especially if you split up from your group, which you should do, believe it or not. Split up from your group. Go out and do other things. You want to experience it. You don't have to do it in a group the whole time. You might go to different panels. Like there's 2 different panels that you want to see one thing and your group wants to see another thing. That's fine. Split up. But check your cell phone like all the time, because 1, could be an emergency back home. You never know. 2, your buddies might be trying to get a hold of you. They're going to a party and you're not going to go because, well, you didn't get the message. So check your cell phone just every now and then. You'll probably won't feel it. You probably won't hear it. Check your cell phone. Okay, so off the top of my head, I think that's all the do's that I could think of at this moment. So now we're going to go ahead and switch over to the don'ts. First off, don't be afraid to do a cosplay. Cosplay anything. Anything that you can think of, cosplay it. A lot of people won't do cosplays because they don't have the money or whatnot to make up an amazing, bodacious, if we I'm bringing back bodacious, an amazing cosplay. So... But don't use that as your excuse. Do a cosplay. You know what? There's going to be some amazing cosplays by people who've been doing cosplays forever, and there's going to be some not so great cosplays by first timers, and they're just experimenting. Trust me. Even if you think your cosplay is not that great, somebody is going to think it's amazing, because there's going to be people who don't have cosplays, and they're going to look at you and they're going to recognize you, even if it is a bad cosplay, and they're going to love it, and they're going to want to take your picture. So don't be afraid to do a cosplay. On that note, don't be mean to other cosplayers just because either their fandom is different than your fandom, and your rival fandoms. I'm Sherlock Holmes. I'm a Hoogian. First off, they get along. They're all BBC, but still, point is, Don't hate on other fandoms, because that's not cricket. That's what other people do. We're nerds. We don't do that kind of shit. We don't hate on other people. Also, don't be mean to other cosplayers who don't have the money to have the greatest cosplay in the world. Support them. I mean, say, hey, you know what? Not that bad, actually. I've seen some pretty crappy cosplays. I'm not gonna lie. I've seen some crappy ones. But you know what? It's not about how good your cosplay is. It's a matter of being out there and having fun, being a nerd, because that's what we do. We're nerds. We're out there to have good times. If we wanted people to give us shit for what we look like, we wouldn't have to go to a convention for that. So don't be a dick. Just be nice to people and give them a high five. Who cares? I love B celebrities. And they're usually really cool people. As a matter of fact, my little brother will tell you a really good story about the Boondock Saints. And we won't get into it too much, but a lot of them are good people. Some of them are kind of dicks, but they've been doing this for a long time, so they're probably just sick of conventions, to tell you the honest truth. Either way, don't be that guy. If you've been waiting in line just to say hello to a celebrity, that's cool. When you get there, don't demand things from them. Don't force things on them. They're not your puppets. They're people still. So don't be a douche and, be that guy with celebrities. Just be cool, all right? Just every single time I see some people, I just want to stab them. Just don't make me stab you, because I will. My weapon might be fake, but I have a real one hidden off to the side that I will stab you with. Don't forget to check the weather ahead of time. Some of these conventions are like half held outside. It could be hot. So do yourself a little bit of favor. Plan ahead. Check to see what the weather's going to be like. Like 5 minutes of research on your convention, and you'll be good to go. This is going to be a little bit weird coming from me, but know that most conventions, like 95% of the conventions that you go to, are going to have children there. So if you're going to be wearing a cosplay, don't wear a cosplay that you don't want children to see, or that children shouldn't see, because parents, they have enough stuff to worry about. Don't make their lives a little bit harder just because you wanted to show something off. Make your cosplay somewhat child decent, because, I mean, someday you might have a child, and then you don't want to have to be that guy or that girl that goes up to people because you're trying to have good family fun and they're being douchebags because they want to show off their junk. That's great. They actually have special conventions for specifically that. Go to those conventions, show off all the junk you want. I will support this 100%. You do that at those conventions. There's like 5% of the conventions. I'm not going to go into that too far, but just trust me, they're out there. Just trust me on this. They're definitely out there. You don't need to go to a regular convention to show off your junk. Don't go to other cosplayers and give them tips. Unless somebody asks you for a tip on how to do a cosplay, don't start just giving people advice. Nobody wants to hear that shit. Nobody wants to hear, oh yeah, your cosplay sucks. Let me tell you how to do it better. You don't want to hear it. I can guarantee you that. And I don't want to hear it. I never want to hear people talk to me unless they are offering me something that I want. And I almost never want people's advice, because normally people's advice is stupid. And I'm being very nice right now by saying that. Well, saying it that way. So don't give other people advice unless they ask. Don't drink, or at least don't drink too much when you go to conventions. You're going to be hot. You're going to be sweaty. You're going to be dehydrating. Trust me. You don't want to get sick at a convention. It sucks. Now, I'm not going to lie. We've gone to conventions and we've done a little bit of tailgating, and we'll have a drink or two just to get a light little buzz going before we start a convention. And I'm not against that, but definitely don't go to a convention blitz for 2 reasons. One, it's not safe. You're going to dehydrate, you're going to feel sick, and then your convention's going to suck. 2, if you act too much like an ass, you're going to get kicked out. And you spent a lot of money to go there. You spent a lot of money to get there. You probably spent a lot of money on a hotel to stay there. A hotel that you could shower in, by the way. Shower in a friend's hotel. Just shower. I am not condoning drinking at conventions. But I'd be lying if I didn't say that I did it like more than once. Gentlemen, and not gentlemen, dudes, whatever you do, don't go to a convention to pick up women. That is not the place. People are there to have a good time. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. If you go to a convention and you meet somebody as a friend and it turns into something later on, that's totally different. Don't go there with the intention to pick people up because you think they're easy or just because you like their cosplay and you want to see the rest. Make friends. You can make friends, and if it turns out to be something later on, that's later on. Don't do it at the convention. Do it after the convention. Maybe when you're drinking in a hotel room where you could take a shower with your new friend. That's if they're okay with it. Don't have that intention. Do intend to take a shower. You need a shower every single day. Okay, so when you're in a cosplay and you have a badge, you don't want to look too tacky. So you want to learn good badge placement. I usually have mine hanging on my belt, just off to the side. So that way, if I do take a picture, I can usually move it, and it's usually not in the picture. Or you can just tie it around your backpack if you're carrying the backpack. You do want it visible for, you don't want to get crap later on. Some people don't care about it not being visible, and that's your prerogative. I don't really care. But if you want to look good in your cosplay, you don't want it visible during the picture. That's all I have to say on that. Alright, kids, so that's all the tips and tricks that I can think of right now. If you can think of anything else that I missed, go ahead and leave it in the comments. I mean, I'm sure people want to hear this stuff. If they don't, well, they don't have to. It's their prerogative. Till next time, peace out. Alright, so let me tell you this story. Basically, we were at a convention. I'm not going to say which one it is, but we were there to see the Boondock Saints. And they were charging to, take pictures with them, and my little brother couldn't afford a picture. So the dude that plays Rocco on the original Boondock Saints told my little brother that he can go stand off to the side and take his picture by himself. And he was coincidentally walking by, and he was in the picture by accident. That's totally not his fault, and they wouldn't be able to charge him for that. And he so photobombed my little brother just because he was being cool. That right there is totally cool. I would have, if I would have had the money, I would have paid just for that because it was awesome. But you know what? He's awesome anyway, and so another reason why the Saints rule. Right there. Also, don't forget to check us out on Facebook at Morbid Memories Inc. That's our page. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you can get all these cool PSAs as they come out the day of. And if you have anything you want me to talk about, any inside info or maybe some tips that you want from the Morbid One, you'd be surprised the kind of stuff that I know. I've been through a lot of shit in my life, so I know a lot of things. If you want me to do a PSA on anything specific, feel free to let me know, and I will go ahead and see what I can do for you. And that's kind of like our thing. We want people to know. Because knowing is half the I'm not going to finish it because there's probably a copyright. In YouTube, it's all about weird copyrights now, so I can't really say like almost anything. And I will catch you all later.